Good Monday morning. I'm on my way out to the planter right now. See what end I put on. I'm pretty sure I know what end I put on the end furrow system for filling, but I gotta double check because I'm building the tender right now. Yep. Male cam lock. That's what I thought it was. Don't worry. Soon this will be coming out of the shed. I'm hoping next week, but we'll see. Next Friday, Saturday, maybe the Monday after. There is some rain in the forecast for the end of this week. My main goal this week for field work is to get the wheat top dressed, because I do notice it's not as dark as it was when it came out of dormancy. It's probably just starting to run out of nitrogen, and we got to get that done. But good news, our Conklin delivery is coming tomorrow morning, so the stuff that I need for the wheat is in that delivery, and then we will be able to get the wheat done sometime. I don't want to cut ruts, but it's probably going to have to get done this week. I just got to keep my eye on the weather. Got the diesel truck pulled around. This is going to be what's pulling our 1,000-gallon tender. I told you guys in the past what the idea is. In furrow on the truck, 2x2 in the tender. So we got from tank to pump plumbed. Now I'm just working on the other line, which is started at a 25-foot roll. Now it's 25 minus that little stretch there, so a couple feet, 22-ish. Should be plenty of hose, and yeah, I think it'll work good. The valve here for the end of the hose, I got the inch and a half. I think this hose is 1.5 inches. And on this end, I gotta go track down a 2-inch coupler, because somehow I'm fairly certain I ordered them through Farm Chem. I had some back order problems, and these things finally showed up, but I may still have some 2-inch couplers that are back on back order through Farm Chem, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go track one down. I gotta have one laying around here somewhere, and then we can put the valve on the end of the hose with the cam lock on the end of it, and then clamp it, and then we'll take it all apart, put the tote away. I think Dad needs this truck for a hay delivery today, so I'm going to make sure to have that ready. Put the pump out away, and then we'll go inside and take all the fittings apart and Teflon all the threads, and then this thing will be ready. Goal was to make it fairly modular. I think it is. A couple cam locks, pump comes off, and then the tank can come off, so I think it'll work good. Plan on doing all the mixing into that tank, and then that way when the planter needs something, it'll speed it up. We just gotta go out, hook up, and pump into the planter. We won't be out there with jugs and everything dumping into the planter, which we might end up. You never know. There's odd occasions where something might happen, but that's the goal anyway. If you guys keep up with the shorts, you'll see we picked up tote of Buck Plus, which is generic glyphosate, and then the bottom tote over there is the same thing. Then we have 140 gallons of Liberty that we got in that tote there. This one's empty. It's just a spare in case we have issues with the one on the truck. And yeah, so right now we have pretty much all the chemistry here except for, I think, atrazine is one thing we got to get yet. So we'll get that in season. We got a ways to go yet. We'll spray V2, V3 on the corn, probably V2 at the latest, but got everything else. 2,4-D, trying some Certain. That stuff's expensive. That one box there is $1,000. We got some atrazine from last year. Enlist. Got some this is odds and ends stuff that I haven't ran out of yet. We do have some plans over here. The wheat top dress. I'm going to get this tank sucked down. This is just a tank that sits here. If I come home from side dress or from wheat top dress and have some left in the sprayer, it's easy to just pump it into that with the sprayer pump instead of reversing all of that system over there. So that's what that's for. I'm gonna get this emptied out, and then when we're done with wheat top dress, this tank is moving up to where this cone bottom is. This cone bottom is my freshwater spray tank, and that is gonna move back along there, and it's going to be more in line with the 2500s and leave a bigger area here. That way we can shift that stuff down a little bit, leave room to stack totes, and then I can have my water and the 28 stuff tied in all together and not have to switch hoses, and I don't have to have a hose running across the doorway there, which is a big pain when it comes to bringing new stuff in. So got to clean this up, but that's going to come here shortly, I think. Anyway, got sidetracked there. That's just Gramoxo and Rinse 8. That's going to go in the spring burn down. I'm looking for 2-inch coupler. I swear I had one in here. There's a bushing to go down. There's more just random stuff in here. Some old Ag Explorer stuff. I gotta change this pump over yet. Don't see one. I have more of that hose there, so if I need more, I got it. Dad's gonna run and get that coupler on his way back from delivering hay, so we'll work on something else. Tomorrow's supposed to be bitter cold, so I'm trying not to do any of the stuff I know I can do in the shop, because that'll, ideally I want to do that tomorrow, but also ideally I want to get out of this weather, because it is getting colder by the minute. First I gotta disassemble this, get it cleaned off so the dad can load hay on it. I dove in pretty heavy on my truck over the weekend. You can see the steering column sitting there. Bearings are out in the top half of the steering column up in here. Gave a lot of slack with the steering wheel. And tearing it apart, I accidentally tore apart the clock spring and got it all unwound, so that was a whoopsie there. But you can see I got the shift tube removed and a few other odds and ends. I ended up ordering a whole new reman steering column on eBay for like $250. So that's my plan there, is just to replace the entire thing. Pretty tore apart inside right now, but you know, that's the way it goes. The steering wheel is laying there. And then chased another rabbit. My speedometer hasn't been working for a couple months now, and so found what I think could be the issue, and that is this wheel speed sensor harness was completely wore through both wires. So I'm hoping that's the issue, but I have my doubts. I almost 80% suspect that it's the ABS module giving me fits, but we will see. If that doesn't fix it, I will try and source a cheap ABS module to swap in and see if that fixes that issue. And then finally, this old gem module. Pretty sure this is bad. The four-wheel drive portion of it is bad. We already know that. I got this whole four-wheel drive system diagnosed a couple years ago, and that was the culprit. But I never bothered with fixing it because I can make do without it. But I have accessory issues. When I shut this truck off, sometimes, some days, and it seems more prone to it after a rain, which is why I immediately went to this, but there's no apparent leak as far as the windshield goes leaking into this. There's no corrosion. I popped this thing apart. The board is pristine. So I am questioning whether this module is the problem, but all symptoms point to it being the issue, because I have accessories coming back on when the truck is off, key out of the ignition, my radio comes on, I get the little ding, my dash is on, all that stuff. And then randomly I will lose all my wiper functions except high. And then some days my wipers will just start running spontaneously on their own. So I'm pretty sure it's this, but I'm not 100% sure. And then after we do all this, even if I replace a gem module or not, I'm going to take this and get a new windshield put in it. It's about $150 and make sure it's all resealed and everything, just to rule out if it is a leaky windshield or not. Because I can't tell, I can't see where there's stuff coming in at, but there still very well could be. There's a lot of spots that I can't physically see or get to. And then my front brakes are shot. So I have a set of pads here. That's going to be tomorrow's project. That you guys will see more of when that video comes out. You can see the old floor. Yep. So anyway, I just came out here to get my coffee, and then I got completely distracted telling you guys about my weekend, which, as you can tell, was very, very fun. Tried calling deer this morning. Nobody's answering the phone at the deer dealership, so I'm going to try again after I eat. And then while Dad's doing something, he's supposed to be running hay somewhere, but we'll see. Just out here doing some cleanup. Got this whole area cleaned up a bit. When the truck is not available, our scrap tends to pile up right in here. So we're trying to get all that loaded up. Dad ran off to do his hay delivery, so he left me unattended, and I started getting into trouble over there. Gonna try and get this barn cleaned out, I think. Little shed. Obviously there's no steel on it in the back right now. We got some we can throw on, and then we can probably shove these Jeeps in there until we have time to attend to them. But over here we got a ditch running along this building. I don't know why it was designed this way. I think it was because on the end of the building there is where the chemical mixing was before I moved it all to where it is now. And I don't know if this was like the catch basin for that or what, but I was working. I got enough room pushed back. They kind of started piling concrete chunks and stuff here and hauling stuff in to fill this. Well, got to get to it to fill it. And now these tire sidewalls have kind of migrated into the ditch, and then there's some miscellaneous stuff. But the ditch is a lot shallower than it used to be. So I kind of cleaned back so that I could attend to this. There's a culvert right here. I'm not sure where this goes. It's kind of going in that direction. I'm assuming it hits. There's a hole over here too. So much weird stuff here that I don't understand what the reasoning was behind. There's a hole here, and there's a culvert there that goes off that direction. But I'm guessing that outlets into here somewhere under the cement or something, and then it goes that way. Don't know why they made that like that, but they did. I should clean all this out and fill it in with gravel so it's usable space. Just fill up against the silo. I gotta talk to Dad, see what the deal is with that culvert, which direction it's supposed to flow, and I think there's a culvert down on this end, but I'm not 100%. This is really dry out here. When I was a kid, I remember not being able to walk through here very often. There's this culvert that I think somebody planned on putting in, but I don't know. I don't know if there is an outlet on this end. I don't see one. You can see where the water's flown off the concrete into there. Once we get this ditch cleaned up, I can get up in here, clean all this out, grade all that down, and make this all gravel so we have a lot more equipment parking room. Get some stuff parked back here. It is crazy that I'm not sitting here stressed about getting the planter and stuff ready to go. All that stuff is hooked up the day we start playing. I just got to go in there and turn the key. Completely opposite of last year. Last year I tried being on top of it, and I just kept, there's a lot of learning experiences building fertilizer and fertilizer systems. And the day before we started planting corn, I was out there till midnight getting fertilizer stuff working right, and then we got started the next day. This year I'm just not a care in the world, able to get into stuff like this. Pretty happy. Good morning. I got the skid steer all fueled up, and apparently no pallet jack on these trucks because they're factory direct and they expect you to have a loading dock to pull the forklift up into the trailer. So was told that ahead of time by my dealer, so I got that ready to go. Now we just got to play the waiting game. Shop's warming up. It is cold this morning. It's about 20 degrees. Yeah. Once they get here, they're coming around 9-ish. Between 9 and 10. And then once they're gone, I got to run uptown, put some money in the bank, pick up part for my truck, and then we move on to shop work. The first truck called me and said they will be here at 10:15, so that's about 45 minutes to an hour from now. So we're getting started in the shop now. I probably could run uptown in that amount of time, but I don't want to risk having them sit. So we're going to work on these turtle guards for the disc spine. We have to get these cracks all ground and welded up. so that they don't break. We had a couple of them that were already completely busted off. Like you see how that one's cracked there, and then this one's hairpin cracking that way. We had some that are completely missing that piece. So I have replacements ordered, and I'm guessing they'll be up here on Friday. But yeah, that's what they look like. Those buggers are about $200 a piece. Yeah. So luckily we only need 2 out of 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, out of 6. So that's good. We're gonna get going on this, and I'll give you guys updates as we go. The fertilizer got delivered, and last second my guy decided to come drop the lime, so we got lime over there too. I don't know if that's a 50-ton load or what, but there's not a lot of lime work to do this spring, just a little bit here and there. The high management soybeans, that farm needed lime, and then we had just 1 or 2 other ones, so not bad. And then behind me here, the Conklin delivery is laying over here. That's just a start. We'll go around the corner here and I'll show you what we got. It grows. Come over here. We got 16 totes, or 17 totes of fertilizer. This is the main infurrow. I'm gonna put my hood up because it's still cold. This is the main infurrow fertilizer, 31818. There's all the info. This is a fully available, 100% available fertilizer. As soon as it hits the soil, the plant can take it up. Or theoretically, I'm sure it takes a little bit for this before the plant can take it up. This is double aught 25, and then they don't put it there, but it's 25-17% sulfur. So pretty good sulfur source there. There's 10 totes of 31818, 7 totes of double aught 25 or sidekick. If I refer to this in future videos, I'll probably refer to it as sidekick because that's what everybody calls it. And then over here we have micros. We have a tank full of manganese. This is 100% chelated. That means every drop of this you put out is reusable for the plant. Big thing that a lot of people don't know about chelation. In order to be 100% chelated in the industry, meaning 100% usability on a product, the product only really has to be 10% chelated. So the big thing with Conklin's products is they are truly 100% chelated in the jug. So you are getting 100% use of this product as soon as it goes out into the field. So like I said, manganese, that's a hard word to say, in that tote. And then this tote is boron. Boron and manganese basically go on every acre we have. Every acre we have is deficient in boron and manganese. It's a pretty common micro to be deficient in, I think, but that is the case there. And then we also have back here, we basically have every micronutrient known right now as far as what we need. Some fields need some fields don't. So manganese, boron, we have zinc. Every field we have basically called for zinc because our P1 level is above 25 and our P2 level is above 50. When those levels get above that, zinc ties up. So we need to supplement. Even though we have plenty of zinc in those fields, it's tied up because of the amount of manure we've had put on over the years. The zinc ends up getting tied up. Now also in here we have Wex. That's a surfactant for spray and burn down. And you can use it on post-emerge, but you got to back the right way up. That'll turn soybeans completely white if you use too much of it. My plan is I'm using that with the generic glyphosate to terminate cover crops. And then at a quart per acre, that's also a soil amendment. Kind of in some ways like gypsum. It gets your soil loosened up and better drain. I guess better draining is the word. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Then we have some calcium up here. The high management beans, where those are at, they're low pH. When you're low pH, you don't have calcium. Soybeans have a very big yield correlation to calcium. So we are supplementing the calcium until that pH can get back into check. And then this pallet is copper, and I didn't even look to see what these little boxes were. Let's cut that open real quick. Okay, we have Intensify in these little boxes. This is a plant growth regulator. This goes in furrow and then again in foliar. That gives the plant a big boost and gets it out of the ground faster. And then down here, somewhere here, there should be this right here, I think. This is windshield treatment. That's something else we used or ordered. Conklin has a very wide range of products. This helps shed water off your windshield. Saw that firsthand, really liked it. We were able to drive all the way home in the rain without ever turning the windshield wipers on. It just shed the water right off. So we got that just to try on some of our stuff. Where is it? There should be, that's Rain Fast. That's another surfactant. Helps. It needs to be in the foliars to help penetrate leaf, waxy leaf. But there should also be some boxes of Amplify D, which is a seed box treatment. And then I believe we're going to break these down and bring them into the warehouse. Guardian DL is our nitrogen stabilizer. These products here, this 2600, this is a foliar nitrogen. It's meant for late season. Put it with your fungicide. We're going to run it on our wheat, and then we have our high management corn that'll get fungicide, and this will go with it. You run about a gallon of this per acre, right? Am I right? Yeah, 1 to 5 gallons. 1 gallon of this. So it's basically like putting out a gallon of 28, but if you put a gallon of 28 out on your corn, it's going to burn the snot out of it. This has a few other things in it as well, just to help it. It's got boron, and then it's also already has that Rain Fast, that surfactant in there. It's already got that in it, so I don't need to supplement. And then we have Syntos, which is our sugar product. This is fructose and fulvic acid is basically what that is. So when you put a pint of that out, it's basically the equivalent of taking a pound of white granulated sugar and dumping it in your spray tank per acre. I gotta get some area cleaned out for this stuff because that's a lot of stuff there. We're gonna put it over here. I think I'll show you guys. I have to pull these 3 totes out. That's glyphosate, glufosinate, and that's just an empty tote. I'll stack them over here right now with my gramoxone rinseate from last fall. And then I will clean this area out in here. Basically just construction material and empty feed bags. We're working on the dryer control room there. So clean all that out, move this feed somewhere else, even though that's got to stay dry too. Anything that's in 2.5s we'll bring in here and get stacked up in the back or something along the wall. Most of the micros are a pint-ish. Some of the boron and manganese are 2 to 3 pints per acre, so they will need a little more. But I plan on having a hose over there that I can just hook on the tote and gravity feed into the inductor, and then the bottom tote will obviously have to have a pump. Got all the way to the bottom of the second pallet, and I was like, dang it, the Amplify D's still not here. It was on the shipping manifest, and then I was like, wait, this Rain Fast box has been retaped, and there they are. Amplify D. So that's what goes on the corn in the seed box when you dump seed in the planter. Let's see what's in it. There's nitrogen, phosphate, calcium, iron, manganese, and zinc. Just a little bit of each one. Just get the seed going. Trying it on about half the plant. We're running it on half the planter until we run out, and so we'll have plenty of side-by-side comparison. And then the Rain Fast, which is that other surfactant I told you guys about already. But it's packed in here, snug as a bug in a rug. Our copper, our zinc, that's Guardian DL. Intensifies back here on the shelf. And then we got our wets, our calcium, and our boron. Our jugged boron. We needed a little more than a tote, so we got some in jugs. We have all of the 318, 18, and Sidekick in this barn here, along with the Feast XL, because that is a late season product. We don't need that yet. And then manganese is not going to be needed till planting, so all of that is in here. And then I stuffed the Centos, which is the sugar, and the boron over here, just because that is Centos I'm going to be using here within the next day or two to top dress wheat, and then boron will be used in the next round of wheat top dress as well as at planting. So we can get completely set up for planting once top dress is done, when I can have that tank moved and get that tank down there, and then we can do our tote stack here, figure out what we need for hoses, and that will be all set. There is about a 95% chance that we will be top dressing wheat next video, so stay tuned for that. Probably be checking ground conditions tomorrow. Supposedly there's snow coming tomorrow night, so that might be a good time to get it done. And then we got rain on Sunday, so get all the top dressing done tomorrow, and then we can do this whole tote tank shuffle and get that out of the way. I've just got an empty pallet to put away, and then I gotta grab a bucket, pick up all this crap that came out of this barn, and go dump it in the burn pile. Dad just dropped off the airbag kit for this diesel, so we'll get that put on tomorrow probably. We'll get the stuff wrapped up in the shop. Dad's working on screwing this trailer down, and we got the other trailer pulled around there to do some work on the beaver tail, so there's plenty to do today. We're not going to add to it. Alright, before I got pulled in every direction possible, I was working on these turtle guards. This first one I got done, ended up welding the patch on here. So you can kind of see that welding doesn't have to look nice. It's going to be rubbing in the dirt, and it'll be more shiny and smooth by the first cutting. But then over here, I got to stick a file in there. I got a little too much into that hole. Welded that crack up the best I could. So we'll leave that alone. This one looks fine. I don't think this one's cracked anywhere, so I can go ahead and put this one away. 2 down, 2 to go. But I'm going to abandon this project for a little bit because I have my wheel speed sensor. I don't really have to get to this right away because my steering column's not supposed to be here for another week, and then my clock spring another week after that. So this truck's going to be sitting in here a while, and it's kind of got my mower locked in here. But it's fine, I guess. Mower's not going to be used till the end of May. I'm going to go ahead and get the wheel speed sensor installed. It's laying over there in a bag. On this side, go ahead and get the pads put on this side and get it all put back together. And then we will jump back to the disc spine if there's time after that, because it's 3 o'clock already, and I didn't realize that. This side's all back together. Pads actually have plenty of life, I think, for the summer. So before snowplow season, we'll do the brakes on this, and then it'll be all good for snowplow season, and that's when this truck really gets worked. So through the summer, it's just a commuter vehicle, and now that we have the diesel, it pull the skid steer around still, I think. But other than that, it should last, I think. If not, sometime August, September, do the brakes on it. But I'm gonna work on that plumbing stuff now. That stuff. We'll take all the fittings off and Teflon the threads, put it all back together. We'll have to tighten that up. That coupler's not on all the way. And then it'll be all set. I finished all that, so that's all taken care of, put away. When we need it, it's there. After we get all our totes put where I want them tomorrow, I will need to get another cam lock for that hose that I was talking about that's going to go off the tote to gravity feed the inductor or to fill jugs. I got this piece of hose left here that we cut off the planter. That I think is going to be plenty long enough. But if you remember, we also have, I think there's like 15 feet of it over there in the old milking parlor. First 4 turtle guards are on. Gotta wait for those two to come in at deer, and then we can continue on this project. But for now, I think this is as far as we're going tonight.